Guys, it is 5:03. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. We will start with roll call, please.
Tyler LaPlante.
Here.
Isaac McKechnie.
Here.
Larry Barbeau.
Here.
Michael McCurchie.
Here.
Lana Cosley-Smith. Here. Aaron Paymont.
Here.
Sean Borowitz.
Here.
Kimberly Hampton.
Here.
Kimberly Gravel.
Here.
Rob McGrory.
Here.
Kimberly Lee.
Here.
Bridget Sorensen. Here. Austin Lowe's.
I'm here. Okay, so we have a quorum. Before we approve the agenda, I'd like to find out whether or not there are any objections to adding 3 resolutions and 1 motion under new business. So the resolutions would be, and the first one would be authorization to negotiate/accept donation Indian Point Cemetery, Namah Township. The second would be approving purchase of 2 77-seat school buses for JKL. And the third would be awarding contract to McGahee Construction for covered walkways at JKL. And under new business, the proposed addition would be titled Enrollment Department. So are there any objections to adding these items to tonight's agenda? All right, hearing none, we will add them. So we'll do approval of agenda. On tonight's agenda, we have the following items. We have invocation, membership participation, the approval of minutes from 12/3 of 24, and we have the following resolutions. We have MOA, Consolidated Community Schools. We have 2024 hatchery fish health inspections. We have amend interagency agreement natural resources facility. We have approve interagency agreement homeless shelter. We have authorized contract door project JKL Bawating School. We have trust land lease Roush. We have authorization to purchase 2049 Ashman and 2008 Tweed. We have LATCF appropriations solar development. We have Sioux Loom lease revenue transfer. We have Sioux Tribe government compensation study. We have Sioux Tribe EDC compensation study. We have Quaden Casinos compensation study. We have approve interagency agreement compensation study. We have amend resolutions 2024-158 for EDC portion. We have amend resolutions 2024-158 for casino portion. We have established key employee review. And then for the 3 resolutions that were added, we have authorization to negotiate/accept donation Indian Point Cemetery, Namah Township. We have approving purchase of 2 77-seat school buses for JKL. And we have awarding contract to McGahee Construction for covered walkways. And then under new business, we have enrollment department. So is there a motion to accept the agenda?
Motion.
Motion by Tyler, supported by Isaac. Any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, those in support signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Those abstaining? Motion carries, and that brings us to our first item, which is invocation with Gerard from Traditional Medicine.
Which?
As we get ready to come to one mind in one spirit, I want to share a story about a young boy who wasn't behaving around Christmas time, and he was told that if he didn't behave, that he wouldn't get nothing for Christmas. So his mom told him to go to the priest, told him to go to church. So he went to see the priest, Father David, and he said, well, Johnny, what seems to be the problem? He said, well, I have a hard time behaving myself. My mom told me to come and visit you. So the priest said, well, you go downstairs and you write, I'll be good for God today. And I'll be good for God for a year. And maybe Santa Claus will give you something. So Johnny went downstairs, grabbed a pen and a paper, and he wrote down, "Hello, God, this is Johnny, and I haven't been a good boy, and I promise I'll be good for a year." And he read that like that a couple of times, and he goes, "Ah, shit," throws it away. So then he goes and grabs another chunk of paper, and he says, "Oh God, this is Johnny." He said, "I promise to be good for 6 months." And he reads it a couple of times, looks at it, and then all of a sudden he sees a statue of the Virgin Mary over that far. And he throws that away. And he grabs Virgin Mary, walks over, he puts her up there. Puts her up there and puts a pillow there so nobody could see her. And he grabs that chunk of paper and he says, "Hello, God, this is Johnny, and I found the Virgin Mary, and if you want her back, you'll give me Christmas presents." Just kidding. But I wanted to share that because sometimes we don't really value the value. 2024 has been a very challenging year for our community, for family, and for those without either of those. And I shared this a little while ago about what it is. I don't know whether it is around other employees and other employee circles, but at the health center, they have this give your hours away to somebody that needs them in order to go forward. And I was sharing this a little while ago with the employees up there, is that is spirit, that is gifting. That's what life is. It's a gift. And sometimes in community, in our communities, in First Nations, and tribes, is we forget sometimes the acts of kindness throughout the year, but also throughout our history. Like I always say this about this community and the nations that here, is that this is home. This is one of the greatest places we could ever be, because people like yous give your time away from your families and make those difficult family decisions. And we over here, we are family. And that's the uniqueness of this time of year. You see lights, you see people sharing, you see people living and loving each other. That reminds me of Johnny, and all those things, how we were raised. And sometimes we forget about those. We forget about that kindness. And within kindness comes forgiveness. But I always think about that. I've been thinking about that lots, about how giving this community is for each other when it comes time to help. That we're very helping. And that's what I wanted to share with us this evening, about the opportunities that are unknown for 225. Because when you think about it, COVID has taught us that together we can get it done. And I always think about that, and that understanding about traditional medicine is only a part of a huge spirit. And so is ceremony, however we pray, whether we use rosaries or whether we use corn. Bushu. Mr. Go, we gave him to go, ya get the almond dog, Mamma gave we and die in my again died. Mamma gave my body, got winning in on das to go in the end on me, our cake. Can again we go on a chip, gave we get a snub, ya maybe again die in Mamma gay, and Mamma should go winning again, don't the barge go on. Kinege winigi nundasago nanagi moaik, Mamage winigi nundasago nagiman. Mamaya kinege winige Krishna Bayami and Dian. Mamage win the Mondige egg, Mamage winigi wisno go nagamin go aik, Mamjagon of Monset, Mamats beyond and Bamonsen. Kinege winigi me go at Sky with Bamazian. Winigi nundasago on in the Stromson and Mamage in the Gokmeonic, Kinege winigi nundasago and Dian. Mamage winigi nundasago on the chip Monige and Dian, Mamage Bavarding. Mamma we went them go. Mamma we need no gas to go yard. Mamma we need to go yard.
Thank you, Gerard. Much appreciated.
Merry Christmas, Dad.
Okay, I appreciate that, Gerard. So the next item that we're on is membership participation. So if anyone wants to address the board, they can. We reserve 5 minutes per member. There's other ways to get a hold of board members. I'm available too. We typically don't get into a back and forth exchange with members. We have the member liaison, Michelle Moore, right here. If you guys have any questions for her, put your hand up and she'll pass out some forms. If it's a really quick, easy answer, I'll catch you on my way out and I'll answer whatever question you have. If it's more complicated, Michelle will be reaching out to you. So I have one form right now, and it's from Jen Mitro. Yep. And would you like this to be open or closed? I can have everyone leave if you want to speak to us privately, or it can be open. Okay, come on up to the front then, and just speak in the microphone because we have some board members that are on Zoom.
Thank you. My name is Jen Mitro, and I'm here on behalf of my father, Edward Lesk. He's an elder of the tribe. He's 70 years old. I went to Sioux Tribe Housing for assistance for him. He's recently, he was living with his brother who passed away on November 17th, and he's been given a notice to vacate the home. So I went to Housing in search of assistance for him, and Housing told me that they have no funding, that the budget was fulfilled for the year, and that there were no housing vouchers. They referred me to Community Action and a DHS. So my dad is on Social Security and gets $591 a month for Social Security. So he's not eligible for funds from DHS, nor do they offer that program anymore. Community Action does not offer assistance either, with the exception of move-in fees. Section 8, HUD, MISHDA, those programs are no longer offering vouchers either. The process of filling out the housing application was something in itself. I called out there on November 27th, which was a snowstorm here in Sault Ste. Marie. My dad was coming back from radiation. So I called out to make an appointment with a housing specialist, and they put me back to speak with Danielle. So I was assuring that someone would be there to help him do this application. And I had all the documentation that we would need, his identification, his income statements, everything that would be needed to fill out the application form ahead. I did my research to make sure that there would be nothing else that he would need, just that someone would be there to help us through this process. She assured me she would. When we drove out there from the Sioux after his long trip of radiation from Petoskey and back, and through the snowstorm, I got him there, and she had left for the day and went home sick.
Before we go any further, could you refrain from using any employee names? We can talk about that over the phone, but just so it's not advertised to our
Yeah,
membership or anything.
sure.
I appreciate it.
I will. So when we got there, the employee had went home sick without a courtesy call to say that no one would be there to help me, or us at that point. Fortunately, someone above that level came out and helped us through the process, gratefully so. And then for the next week, I didn't hear anything. No return phone calls, no return emails. There were 6 emails, 5 voicemails. And it wasn't until I reached out to a board member for assistance, and it was then I started getting some response. And then it was the response that the budget was full for the year, or that our voucher program was full until somebody came off the rental assistance program. It's appalling to me as a tribal member that we do this to our people. We spend money on things every day. How do we not spend money on our members? How do we leave elders, number one, out in the cold? And it's not a budget thing. You can't put a price on a person. So I'm asking the board to look into this budget for our housing, for our people, not for things, but for our people. Not just for my dad, because I know he's one of many. So,
Okay,
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you coming here. I
Yep.
really do. And we'll be in touch, okay?
thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? All right, let's jump into the meat of this then. All right, so the first item that we're on are minutes. So I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the minutes from 12/3/24. Motion by Isaac. Support by Kim Hampton. Any discussion on the minutes? Any proposed changes? Hearing none, those in support signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Those abstaining? Motion carries. And that brings us to resolutions, and the first one is MOA Consolidated Community Schools.
Now therefore be it resolved that this agreement between Consolidated Community Schools Services and the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians, that the consolidated schools will reimburse the tribe in the amount of $47,476. Be it further resolved that the tribe agrees to meet or exceed all rules and regulations regarding certification and class curriculum in the operation of a state adult education program, and that the tribe will absorb such expenses as teacher wages, space cost, and other associated administrative cost.
All right, motion by Isaac.
Support.
Support by Kim. Jess, could you explain this resolution for us, please? And for the
Yes.
membership's information, we workshop all of these. So some of these resolutions we've workshopped 3-4 times, but we always ask the sponsor to explain what they are to the membership and to remind the board what they are as well. But these are all workshopped.
Yes, this resolution is a memorandum of agreement with the CCSS to provide adult education services to Sioux Tribe members and community members. The services are provided in Sault Ste. Marie, Kinchlow, St. Ignace, Bay Mills, and Newberry. And this has been an ongoing agreement that we've had with them.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board of directors? Okay, hearing none, all those in support signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Those abstaining? Motion carries. Did you have something to say, Aaron?
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's been 26 years.
Been a long
And it
time.
was when the Republican legislature and John Engler abolished the funding for GED, and our tribe stepped forward and contributed to the local consolidated community schools. And every year they have graduation, and our tribal members that graduate are extremely grateful for our service and the money that we contribute.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next resolution is 2024 Hatchery Fish Health Inspection.
Now therefore be resolved that the Sioux Tribe Board of Directors authorizes the division's contract with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Be it further resolved that the Board of Directors hereby authorizes and approves the chairman of the tribe or their designee to execute any and all documents as may be necessary and appropriate to carry out the terms, conditions, and intent of this resolution.
Motion by Isaac,
I'll support.
Support by Tyler. Jack, could you explain this resolution, please?
Absolutely. This resolution allows us to do hatchery disease testing. This is a regular part of our hatchery program, and this is a affordable and good way for us to do this. So.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, all those in support signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Those abstaining? Motion carries. Thanks, Jack. Appreciate it.
Which,
The next resolution is amend interagency agreement natural resources facility.
Now therefore be resolved that the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians Board of Directors hereby adds an additional $679,200 to the current approved interagency agreement with Natural Resources for a total amount of $4,679,200 utilizing the ARPA funding from Resolution 2024-230. Be it further resolved that the Board of Directors hereby authorizes the chairman or his designee to execute any and all documents for this interagency agreement.
Motion by Isaac. Support by Mike. Dr. Clark, could you explain this resolution, please?
So Buju, Robin Clark from Gidang, Guama, Idimon, Aji, and Awendiang, our Natural Resource Division. We are requesting to amend the agreement between the division and facilities to include an additional $679,200 that will allow the division to move forward on renovation and new construction of a facility that would bring all of our programs together under one roof or two.
All right, thank you. Any questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Aaron Paymont.
Yes.
Kimberly Lee.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Lana.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Bridget.
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton.
Yes.
Isaac.
Yes.
Larry.
Yes.
Kimberly Gravel.
Yes.
Sean.
yes.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. The next resolution is approve interagency agreement homeless shelter.
Now therefore be it resolved that the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians Board of Directors approves an interagency agreement with Facilities Management for the ARPA-compliant enhancements, furnishings, renovations for the homeless shelter utilizing the remaining funding from Resolution 2022-219 in the amount of $182,412.13. Be it further resolved that the Board of Directors hereby authorizes the chairman or his designee to execute any and all documents for the interagency agreement. Be it finally resolved that the Board of Directors authorizes the CFO or his designee for all internal administrative budget modifications from the authorized budgeted funding.
Motion by Isaac, support by Tyler. Andrew?
Yeah, so this is, as she said, to enter into a internal agency agreement. The funding would be used to purchase and install playground equipment for the homeless shelter.
Okay, any questions or comments from the board? So we received a large appropriation from the state of Michigan in the amount of $1.25 million to help fund the operating costs of the homeless shelter, so that frees up some funding. And since it opened, we've had a large number of families with small children reside at that shelter. So this is just to make it more family-friendly. So questions, comments? Okay, hearing none, roll call, please. Isaac, go ahead, sorry.
Hey, Andrew, actually, the resolutions for enhancements, furnishings, and renovations, just so you know.
Anyone else? Okay, roll call, please.
Bridget.
Yes.
Kimberly Gravel.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Isaac.
Yes.
Kimberly Lee.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Sean.
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Lana.
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Larry.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next resolution is authorized contract door project JKL Bowating School.
Now therefore be resolved that the chairperson of the tribe or his designee is hereby authorized to enter into and execute a contract with RR Auto Glass for the completion of the door replacement project at the JKL school in accordance with the funding authorized for this purpose.
Motion by Isaac,
I'll support.
support by Kim Hampton. Bill?
This resolution will allow the facilities at the JKL school to finish their door replacement project. We have 5 more sets of doors to replace, and we will have replaced all the exterior doors in the facility. So this is funded by ARPA and in the amount of $106,972.
Thank you, Bill. Any discussion from the Board of Directors? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Isaac.
Yes.
Lana.
Yes.
Kimberly Lee.
Yes.
Sean.
Yes.
Kimberly Gravel.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Bridget.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Larry.
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Carried.
Motion carries. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
The next resolution is trust land lease. Roush,
Any objection to waiving the reading?
any objections to the reading being waived?
Motion.
Hearing no objection, the reading is waived and a motion has been made by Isaac. Is there a second?
Support.
All right, so there's a second by Kim Hampton. Go ahead, Helen.
Helen Wilkins, Real Estate Manager for Sioux Tribe EDC. I am here to request a residential land lease for Jamie Roush, who has completed everything with Sioux Tribe Housing Authority to purchase his home and is ready to have a land lease.
That's awesome to hear. Any discussion from the board? Without objection, we will approve this via unanimous consent. Hearing no objection, motion carries. Thank you. Appreciate it. The next resolution is authorization to purchase 2049 Ashman and 2008 Tweed.
Resolved that the Board of Directors of the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians authorizes the tribal chairman or his designee to negotiate and enter into the purchase of the guest house and surrounding properties in Michigan, not to exceed the amount listed in the RIS utilizing LATCF funds appropriated in Resolution 2024-394, subject to satisfactory completion of all necessary and appropriate due diligence by the Real Estate Division. Be it finally resolved upon completion successful negotiations, the Board of Directors authorizes the tribal chairman or his designee to sign any and all documentation to complete the purchase of the properties.
Okay, we have a motion by Tyler and support by Isaac. You guys want to fill us in on this?
Yes, this resolution is seeking authorization to purchase the guest house and the duplex associated with the property. This was part of a multi-property LATCF allocation that was approved at the last board meeting. So this would be the first purchase of that multi-property acquisition.
How many units does the guest house have?
So there are currently 16 units in the hotel, 1 2-bedroom, and then there's a duplex on the property as well with a 2-bedroom and a 1-bedroom. So that's a total of 19 units.
19 units. Very good. Questions or comments from the board? Aaron.
So we have a shortage of housing, so whether this is used for housing or if it's used for fair market rentals rather than what people are paying otherwise, because people are paying a lot of money for rentals right now. This is very smart economically for us, but it also can extend a service to our own tribal members, so I support it.
We have a proven track record making money off property management as well. I mean, Demwadding does a really good job. Anyone else? Okay, roll call, please.
Sean.
Yes.
Kimberly Gravel.
Yes.
Bridget.
Yes.
Isaac.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Kimberly Lee.
Yes.
Larry.
Yes.
Lana.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. The next resolution is LATCF Appropriations Solar Development.
Now therefore be resolved, the Sioux Tribe Economic Development Corporation intends to establish a new enterprise cost center to facilitate the collaborative development of a solar energy project with Cloverland Electric. Be it further resolved that this resolution authorizes an administrative budget modification for LATCF Cost Center 12651 to transfer the amount of $400,000 to the newly created cost center. Be it further resolved that the Board of Directors of the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians hereby approves the creation of a new cost center to receive LATCF funds. The Executive Director of Enterprise Operations and/or Sioux Tribe CFO can create this budget via an administrative budget modification. Be it finally resolved that the Board of Directors authorizes the Executive Director of Enterprise Operations to generate the 2025 operational budget for the new cost center, reflecting the amount stated in this resolution to be presented in 2025 with the Budget Department.
Okay, motion by Isaac and support by Kim Gravel. Could you cover this as well?
Yes, so this resolution is seeking authorization to establish a cost center, a transfer LATCF funds in the amount of $400,000. This would be for the discovery phase of the solar project that was reviewed in closed session with the board. We did an extensive review on that about a month ago. We've been in contact with the Cloverland team, collaborating. This would be the next step. By no means does this commit us to moving forward with that project, just developing it. We've had ambitions on solar in the past. I believe this approach would make a solar project more viable and would also help us ascertain funding in addition to the tax credits, but federal funding through various grants and programs.
Thank you, Dan. Any questions from the board? Comments? Okay, hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Kimberly Hampton.
Yes.
Kimberly Gravel.
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Larry.
Yes.
Isaac.
Yes.
Kimberly Lee.
Yes.
Bridget.
Yes.
Sean.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Lana.
Yes. Yes.
Motion carries. The next resolution is Sioux Loom Lease Revenue Transfer.
Now therefore be resolved that the Board of Directors of the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians hereby approves the transfer of the annual lease revenue for the 2024 from Cost Center 1155 EDC to Cost Center 6052 Eagle Lending Capital and Debt Service. Be it finally resolved that the Board of Directors authorizes the Executive Director of Enterprise Operations and/or the tribe's Chief Financial Officer to execute any budget modifications necessary to carry out the intent of this resolution.
Motion. Support.
Motion by Isaac and support by Tyler. Can you cover this as well?
Yes, this resolution is authorizing the transfer of the loom lease revenue for 2024 only from 1155 to 6052 Eagle Lending. We had a discussion about this in closed session, and the CFO and I have discussed this as well, so this would just authorize that transfer.
Appreciate it. Any questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Larry.
Yes.
Lana.
Yes.
Aaron.
Abstain.
Sean.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Bridget.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Kimberly Gravel.
Yes.
Kimberly Lee.
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton.
Yes.
Isaac.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Appreciate it. Any objections to accepting the next resolution in its amended form, which was provided in email to us, and it simply uses leftover funding for revenue replacement? Okay, hearing no objection, we will use the amended resolution, and that is Sioux Tribe Government Compensation Study. Kim?
Now therefore be it further resolved.
Motion.
Are there any objections
Yeah,
to waiving
I
the
was like,
reading?
wait a
It's quite
minute.
lengthy.
Motion.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Okay, hearing no objection, we will waive the reading. Tyler made the motion. Is there a second? By Isaac. Christine, could you explain this? Explain what a compensation study is? Explain the difference between that and then just a blanket universal raise as well.
Christine McPherson, Executive Director for Sioux Tribe, and I'm here to present to you a very long, hard fight to try to recognize our team members who have gone a long time without recognizing their positions to the market. Our last compensation study was completed in 2012, and so we have been working under a grid system since then and have not moved our grid. This compensation study was completed by Bluestone Strategy Group. A lot of time and energy was put into it. This board has put a lot of time into it. In fact, we spent all day reviewing this. This resolution is quite long because it has a lot of conditions and rescinding other resolutions that have passed that we've had to try to do in order to recognize our team members to receive increases over the years. So even though our last comp study was only in 2012, this board has recognized throughout the years of additional increases based upon $3 an hour increases, COLA increases, and individual departmental increases, and hard to retain, hard to fill positions. So it's not as though you have not recognized the problems we've had. This community and nationwide has had a hard time with our workforce retaining and keeping them in. And this is a great step for this tribe to say, we recognize you, we know, we hear you, and we're going to try to do something about it. So this study actually brings everyone up to their market of their position. And that is huge because we've never really had the market. And so this is a 2024 market of the position. It's not for the person, it's for the position. Then in addition to that, we had them look at the person who's sitting in those roles and evaluate the person that you have employed with you currently, and they went through a whole process of a comp study. So all of those individuals have been recognized for what they have brought forth to the tribe. So we have 453 current employees. 183 of them were under the minimum. So all of those employees, team members that we currently have, will be raised to at least make the minimum of their position. There are no employees currently that are over the max for their range. Out of the 183 team members, they will receive their minimum, with the exception if their raise is over $10,000 in any one year. That will be capped at 10 this year, but then they would get it the next year. And if there's any that are fortunate enough to even, and I shouldn't say fortunate, are unfortunate they have that far below the market, they will get that in the final year of 2007. 2027. The remaining employees, which is 270 employees, will receive at least 3%. So they will also be raised to where they should be in their comp ratio, and they will not receive anything less than 3% on their salary. And so that brings them up. We also, in addition, are recommending that this pay range is backdated to October 1st of this year, 2024. So these employees will receive a retro calculation from October 1st to December 31st, 2024, and then that wage will be carried into 2025. And all of these costs are being picked up by a resolution that previously was passed for compensation study and wage increase, passed in 2021. So we have been working on this for a long time, and I'm very pleased that we are finally at the point of a decision to say, let's move forward with these increases. The study also takes into consideration, some comparable rates, some equity within positions and certain job titles, job classifications, Fair Labor Standards Act. It's a real complete study, and everybody will be brought up to where they should be, including their classification. It is the previous resolutions that brought us with added money like COLAs, and it will not be added because then we will be being reimbursed at a higher level, and it will actually, that will overcompensate. It's not a bad thing, it's a good thing, and then we will be working on, in 2026, how to handle that, and the board will make those decisions. The longevity plan is normally also was added to the base, and what this resolution will do is, again, not add that amount to the base of their salary, but will be given their percentage bonus or increase or recognition at our longevity luncheon that's held in April of every year. And it's based upon the December 31st of this year. So you always do a full calendar year. So no one is losing out on that. I think that's a really something that everybody looks forward to, and it encourages people to stay with us and work with us. So that's really the highlight of all the changes, and I'm here to answer any questions that anyone have, and it's a pleasure to bring this forth finally today.
I appreciate the thorough explanation, and I agree. It's a long time coming. Isaac, then Aaron.
Yeah, I think the last study was, 2012?
Yes.
And that's when the board approved something, so it's long overdue. And I really believe that our employees do deserve this, and I want to wish them a Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Aaron?
So I want to thank Christine for her tenacity. We've worked on this when I was in office before. We did all of the detail. We brought stuff up to the board table in the past, only to have it just sit. And we've been back to the board. She's been back in front of the board at least 2 or 3 times before today. So whatever this board did to move it forward, and the chair, we're finally there. And it's the important part is that our team members will be at market value for this region of what they should be paid. So I want to thank Christine for her tenacity.
Thank you.
And patience.
Tyler?
Yeah, in addition to that, when we do our next market study, the gaps won't be so large.
Right.
Our wage compression hopefully will be somewhat resolved by then, and we'll be dealing with a much different situation down the road, or somebody will be dealing with that. This is regarding all the resolutions on tonight, but Christine, Al, Dan, Bob, we're putting our faith in you. You brought the tribe in the last couple of years into a very, very strong position amongst all of the divisions. And we had that thorough discussion. We've been having it for months now, technically years, because we tried to pass the other one a few years ago. But I feel like we all think we're in a good spot right now, and that we're all on the same page, that we're gonna be accountable for this, and we're gonna move this tribe forward together, and we're gonna continue with a strong economic standing. And I look forward to seeing what you guys bring. And above all, thank you for continuing to push this to us on behalf of the teammates and on behalf of the people who keep this tribe running on a day-to-day basis. Miigwech.
Bridget, then Lana?
Well, I just wanted to say thank you, Christine, for your leadership, for all the work that you put in for this. I appreciate you, and I'm happy that we can do something for our employees before Christmas, and that it's taken this long, but it'll be well worth it. Thank you very much for your leadership, Christine.
Thank you.
Lana?
Yeah, this is a long time coming, and I was probably the longest one to be convinced. This is our 3rd or 4th time that we went through it. We've had multiple presentations on it. We've sifted through all kinds of information. This last presentation and the way the changes were made, I can support it. And I've been there with the past boards that couldn't get there, and this board, other than Larry, that couldn't get there a couple of years ago. So I think that it will get us to the market. I think that everyone is receiving something, and it is a start. I do value that each and every division, each and every director in their division has vouched for it, that it's fair and equitable. That our CFO said we can sustain it with some pulling up our sleeves and making some other decisions. Everything's not peaches and cream though, because we do have some work to do, and I'm going to recognize that. So I am glad it's at the market, and I'm glad that everybody is receiving something. So that's what I'll say. Thank you. And thanks for the hard work, you guys. It is appreciated.
Okay, roll call, please.
Kimberly Lee.
Yes.
Lana.
Yes.
Isaac. Sean.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Bridget.
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
Aaron.
I'm not voting till Isaac comes back.
I'm
yes.
going really slow for that.
There he is right there. No, I said yes.
Okay, yes. Isaac,
Yes.
Kimberly Gravel,
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
There is a Santa.
I do want to say that there's no way that we're going to get this out before Christmas, so I don't want anybody to think that. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, and we're looking at probably the second payroll in January, and that's going to be a real push to get it out. But we will get it out as fast as we can, so thank you very much, Board.
This is a big deal. Thank you for all your hard work. Everyone involved in this on the government side. So let's pass them for casino and EDC now. All right, so next up
Have a hand up.
would be Sioux Tribe EDC. Yes.
Can you just reiterate what you answered today when I asked the question about a communication to all the team members?
Press release will go out. So you guys will all be informed about what's going on officially. So we'll get that written up. All right, so the next resolution is Sioux Tribe EDC compensation study.
Yeah, any objection to waiving the reading?
Motion.
Are there any objections to waiving the reading? Here, no objections. We have a very patient motion by Tyler and a second by Isaac. So, Danny.
Okay, this resolution is seeking authorization to implement the compensation study performed by Soaring Bird Solutions. Same metrics and overview and principles as Christine went over were applied to this compensation study. We've put several workshops in discussing it. So we appreciate the board's time in doing so, and I think we've come to a thorough, real concrete plan here, and it's really something good for the organization, the team, and I can answer any questions.
Okay, any questions, comments from the board? And similar to the one that we just passed for governmental, the vendor to examine what we pay our employees, and we want to bring everyone up to market standards, so no employees are being underpaid. So questions, comments? All right, let's roll call.
Tyler,
Yes.
Isaac,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Lana,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton,
Yes.
Bridget,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Kimberly Lee,
Yes.
Kimberly Gravel.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
And last but not least, Quid and Casino compensation study.
Any objection to waiving reading?
Motion.
You hear no objection. Motion made by Tyler, then Isaac. So, Isaac?
Isaac,
Isaac, then Tyler. All right, guys. All right.
Wow, I don't
Gentlemen,
know if
explain
there's-
this for us.
There ain't much more to say than what was already said. There was a lot of time spent on this from the leadership at the table here today and the management. We spent months working over this, and today we came to a good place. And I think this is terrific for our team members. You know, we got a budget of about 2.2 million overall because we're taking care of the last quarter of this year too as well. So moving forward, we're looking at approving a $2.2 million wage grid study. And I don't think I have much more to say than that.
Okay, Isaac, then Tyler.
Hey, Al, Dana, Mike, hey, I was pretty tough on you in the workshop. Don't take it personal, but I take the tribe personal. So, Merry Christmas.
Tyler.
Same thing, and you know, all eyes are going to be on you guys. You know, you're going to have a new casino. We still have further development underway, and you know, just keep doing what you're doing. But like was said at another time, if things come back and they need to be readjusted, we need to see those budget bots in the future. There is no need to bog that down today to get this passed. But we need to make sure that we account for those things in the future, especially as you continue to progress. And I just want to say, you know, the one person who hasn't been recognized in your team is Diane has done a tremendous job of flipping the coins around with the new HR department. She's taken on a huge role, and I think she's a huge part of this, you know. So I want to appreciate your entire team for the work that they've done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Likewise. Aaron.
So I also want to thank our Quaden team. During COVID, there were some dark times. I won't say any more than that. But you guys are proving that you're the team, right? And our revenues are at record amounts that they were before the pandemic. So we have a very good team, and we've always had a good team. But I would also like to ask that we start looking down the future to compensate our enterprise and our casino team members based on some level of merit, because you're funded as governmental employees. If you do great, you get the same thing as if you don't do great, and that shouldn't be. We should be driving your performance by having a little carrot at the end of it that says, here's what you get if everything's just normal and you're coming along, but here's what you get if you go out and you beat the bushes and you get additional market, get people in here and drive the revenue. So I think it's time for us to finally cross that threshold. So, and I thank you guys for everything, and your team members will have a great Christmas, although Christina was already threw cold water on it. It's not going to happen until after Christmas, but all the loan sharks, pay attention.
Yeah, you guys are doing a fantastic job. Roll call, please.
Lana.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Kimberly Lee.
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Larry.
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Bridget.
Yes.
Isaac.
Yes.
Sean. Rob.
Yes.
Kimberly Gravel.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Motion carries. Good job, gentlemen. Okay, the next resolution is approve interagency agreement compensation study.
Now therefore be resolved that the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians Board of Directors approves an interagency agreement between Sioux Tribe Administration Office Executive Director and Sioux Tribe Accounting Department CFO to come up with the plan to monitor, administer, and appropriate the funding for the approved wage compensation study passed by the Board of Directors from Resolution 2024-158. Be it further resolved, the Board of Directors hereby authorizes the Sioux Tribe CFO and the Sioux Tribe Executive Director to execute any and all documents for the interagency agreement. Be it finally resolved that the Board of Directors authorizes the CFO or his designee for all internal administrative budget modifications from the authorized budgeted funding.
Motion.
Okay, so we have a motion from Tyler and support by Isaac. Bob?
Yes, Bob Schultz, CFO. The next three resolutions are all related to the wage compensation study. The first one here establishes an interagency agreement between the accounting department and the tax appropriation company in order that we can utilize ARPA funds for this wage comp study in 2025.
Thank you, Bob. Any questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Rob.
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Kimberly Lee.
Yes.
Lana.
Yes.
Isaac.
Yes.
Sean.
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Larry.
Yes.
Bridget.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Kimberly Gravel.
Yes.
Motion carries. The next resolution is amend Resolution 2024-158 for EDC portion.
Now therefore be resolved, the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians Board of Directors approves moving money to the revenue loss category from Resolution 2024-158 in order to transfer these funds over to EDC by 12/31 of '24. Be it further resolved that the Board of Directors hereby authorizes the CFO to execute any and all documents for the transfer, move, and submission of the funding to revenue loss and over to EDC. Be it finally resolved, the Board of Directors authorizes the CFO or his designee for all internal administrative budget modifications, if necessary, from the authorized budgeted funding.
Okay, motion by Isaac and support by Tyler. Bob?
Yes, this resolution allows for the EDC component of the wage compensation study to be transferred to revenue replacement under ARPA guidelines and remain ARPA compliant.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Any questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Kimberly Gravel.
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Sean.
Yes.
Larry.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Isaac.
Yes.
Lana.
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Bridget.
Yes.
Kimberly Lee.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. The next resolution is amend Resolution 2024-158 for casino portion.
Now therefore be resolved that the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians Board of Directors approves moving money to the revenue loss category from Resolution 2024-158 in order to transfer these funds over to the casino by 12/31 of '24. Be it further resolved, the Board of Directors hereby authorizes the CFO to execute any and all documents for the transfer, move, and submission of the funding to the revenue loss and over to the casino. Be it finally resolved, the Board of Directors authorizes the CFO or his designee for all internal administrative budget modifications, if necessary, from the authorized budgeted funding.
Motion, support.
Motion by Isaac and support by Tyler. Bob?
Yes, as with the previous resolution for EDC, this is for Kuwait and casinos to transfer the expense of the wage compensation study over to revenue replacement and to remain ARPA compliant.
Thank you, Bob. Questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Aaron,
Yes.
Kimberly Lee,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Lana,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Bridget.
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton,
Yes.
Isaac,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
Kimberly Gravel,
Yes.
Sean.
Yes.
Carried.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you.
The next resolution is establish key employee review.
Now therefore be resolved that the Board of Directors of the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians hereby directs the Executive Director and other executives from enterprises and Kuwait and casinos to research a better survey process with external contractors and bring recommendations back within 90 days. Be it further resolved that the Board of Directors hereby directs both governmental and Kuwait and Casinos Gaming Authority, HR, to work together annually to conduct the Key Employee Satisfaction Survey at the end of every year and report the results back to the Board of Directors. Be it finally resolved that the Board of Directors hereby establishes that each key employee must complete an annual 360 performance review with the Board of Directors in the last quarter of each year, with the baseline established within 30 days.
Okay, motion by Isaac, support by Tyler. So I sponsored this resolution so I can explain it. So the Board of Directors, we supervise about a dozen key employees. And this resolution is just to provide a survey to them to find out how we can work with them to improve supervision. It would also include a 360 performance review of the executives as well. So, Lana.
Yeah, thank you, Austin. What is the amount we're looking at? I mean, is there any rough estimate? As I said today, I think we have the capability to do it internally. Right now, we have 2 fully functioning HR, casino and governmental. We're slated to get another one with health. So I think that internally we can do it. I realize there may be some bias if people stick their nose in it, but I think we can, there's professionals in HR that they can secure it so that nobody can get their fingers in it. And if we can't trust our own internal process, I think that's a problem. So I think that we start there and not have to pay out more, money to outside contractors, especially when we're going to have 2, 3, maybe 4 internal HR divisions. I trust that the leadership there can do something fair. So that's where I'm at with it, and would hope that they could figure out safeguards for, it to be fair and equitable. So that's my comment.
So to answer your question, I'm not sure how much a vendor would charge us because it hasn't been RFP'd yet. So a similar version of this resolution passed at the Gaming Authority level, and at that time, a sizable portion of the Board of Directors wanted to contract that out to a vendor. But I agree, I think we can do it in-house too, but either way, it's not a hill I'm going to die on. Aaron?
All right, so here is the reason why it should not be done in-house. We did a team member survey in 2012 or 13, and the board voted and clearly delineated the process. And what we were concerned about was staff intimidation of team members that would come and take the survey, also board members intimidating staff. So we made it clear that board members and executive staff not be part of that process. What happened was a board member or a couple board members were in the room. They were the ones who had the envelope for you to turn the survey into, and then they had the surveys in their possession for a period of time before they turned them over to HR. And so all team members report to or have their direct reports to other staff that are going to be part of this assessment. So it's not appropriate for anybody internal to have access to that. It doesn't matter how professional they are, they will have access to information and be able to decode, and we can't assure anonymity, and if you can't assure anonymity, you will not get candid responses, and so that's the very strong reason why it should not be done internally. I believe we could probably get this done for about $10,000 if we did an RFP process, and it's worth it because the reason we're doing this is because we know we have difficulty recruiting and retaining team members. We know that tribal members, there's a kind of a reputation out there, don't go work for the Sioux Tribe, so we don't get applications. Since I've been back, we've had a couple key positions where we don't even get applications from tribal members. So I think let's do this on the up and up, let's do it professionally, let's do it right, and that necessitates that it be done externally and not internally that could decode individual responses. That will send fear, and then the team members filling it out will not fill it out honestly.
Regardless of who does it, whether it's internally or an outside vendor, we have technology these days to protect confidentiality. SurveyMonkey, anyone that's, created a study in grad school. I mean, we've all made SurveyMonkey surveys, and we know that, we can protect confidentiality. But again, I'm fine either way. Lana.
Yeah, thanks for that, Austin. I appreciate it. It's not very often me and you are on the same page. So, I would say, that we motion to do it internally. Like you said this afternoon, there is ways to, $10,000 might not sound like a lot of money, but it is a lot of money. And again, I think that, the professionals we have in place could do it. So I'd motion that we do it internally, and then get that feedback. If it doesn't work or it's contaminated by board members, put a clause in there saying if anybody tries to stick their fingers in it, it's disclosed to the board of directors. I mean, if we can't trust our internal processes, there's a problem. And, today's a new day, new age, new board, new everything. So I would motion that it's done internally with our HR departments.
Second. Okay, so there's a motion to amend this resolution to change it from an outside vendor conducting the survey to it being conducted internally by our HR departments, and I believe it was seconded by Rob. Discussion on the amendment. We'll start with Aaron.
So here's the thing, okay? I've already explained, this is my background, in statistics, data collection, research. You're going to have a problem with people feeling comfortable filling it out if it's done internally. That's the bottom line. So if we want candid, honest responses that can help change our practice so that we can make team members, executive team members, and team members feel better about working here, right off the get-go, you don't want to set it up so that they're going to be fearful of it. I mean, right now, people are watching this, and if I were watching this as a team member, there's no way I would take this survey and be honest about it if I felt like somebody could decode my responses. So I urge board members to vote no on the amendment.
Okay, Tyler, then Kim Hampton.
I was just going to say that, if we're going to do it internally, we can just crisscross HR departments at this point. And then have, help protect confidentiality like that. You can also do, we don't have many key employees, so it's going to be pretty easy to decode if we get the data from a third party or internally anyway. So the study would have to be fairly well built in order to protect confidentiality, but ultimately we're looking at a 360 review, both of how, right, this is how we're looking at it, of how the employees view the board and the relationship with the board, as well as the employee themselves, so we can set goals and standards for them moving forward. I thought that's what we're doing. Is that what we're doing? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're doing the full review on both sides of it. This is technically a board and key employee review. So I think we're all adults. I think we can be honest with each other, but I'll support it. I think it needs to get done, so I'm going to support it.
Okay, Kim Hampton, Bridget, then Aaron.
Okay, so I actually agree with Aaron on this one. I would say I'm at the beginning of my research career. And I can also say that there are morals and ethics to research. And technically, if we want to look at it in that aspect, doing this kind of survey means that we have human subjects. If we had to actually run it through an IRB, an institutional review board, they would be like, no, that is a complete conflict of interest. Absolutely not. External. That is where I'm going to stick. I stick with external and definitely not internal. So thanks.
Okay, Bridget, then Aaron.
Well, like I said earlier, I feel like it's a conflict of interest if we do it internally because some of the executive staff report to the HR directors. So I'm going to stick to having it done outside.
Okay, Aaron.
Okay, there's a Santa Claus and a Christmas, because Bridget and I agree. So if we vote on this to do it internally, I'm going to encourage team members not to fill it out, because there is no way to keep confidential and their anonymity. And one of the very clear things that's going to come out in the survey is team members feeling intimidated by the politics of the board and the micromanagement. And so if they know that internally, that staff are going to have access to their responses or could decode who they are, they're not going to fill it out, and nor should I feel they should fill it out. So if we pass this amendment, I'm going to encourage people not to fill it out. And I'll do like a real professional explanation of why this violates ethics. Clearly, it's a conflict of interest. So thank you, Bridget.
Okay, anyone else? Tyler?
Yeah, so just playing devil's advocate here, I'm also into research very heavily, and this isn't research, this is an employee review. HR does it all the time, and normally the supervisors would do it directly with their employees. So we gotta think about this. This isn't a research project. We're actually evaluating employees and their feedback. So I don't care either way. It needs to get done, so I'm going to support whatever way we're going to get it done, but this is an employee review. When's the last time the board sat down with the key employees, had a face-to-face with them, and set goals with them and expectations? Right. So it's an HR process. HR doesn't go through an IRB, and managers don't go through an IRB to evaluate their employees when they do their annual review. So I'm just gonna say devil's advocate. This is not a research project.
Okay, Lana?
Yeah, I agree with Tyler. And it is what it is. If at the end it's going to be external, that's fine. My only point is, we went from one HR department to now 2, to pretty soon 3, and then we're going to have 4. So we're going to have 4 different HR divisions, which, if we can get people hired faster and quicker, that's one good thing. But if we can't trust an internal project to do a 360 review or an input on a Survey Monkey, that can put up confidential screens and have professionals do that, then, and again, I shouldn't probably be dying on the sword on this either, but I think that we are capable of doing it ourselves, and it's unfortunate that it'll be turned into, advocating not even to do it, if this board so chooses to do it internally. If it doesn't work internally, then let's do it externally. But there's no sense in having all these HR departments if they can't do a simple function of doing a review like this. So that's all I'll say anymore about it. So I was going to withdraw my amendment, but then I want to see where this goes.
So point of clarification. So we have 2 HR departments within the tribe. The casino has one, and then government has one, and we just approved a budget for health to have one, so it'll be 3. Like I said.
Are we getting one for EDC too?
No.
Oh, okay. Then I thought we were.
No, Danny uses casino.
Okay, perfect.
So, all right. So let's roll call the amendment. Yes is to change it from an external vendor to handling it internally, and then a no is keep it with the external vendor.
Larry?
No.
Lana?
Yes is to keep it internal.
Yes.
My amendment, yes.
Yes. Aaron?
No.
Sean?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Bridget?
Sorry, it wouldn't let me hit the button. No.
Tyler?
Yes.
Kimberly Gravel? Yes. Kimberly Lee?
No.
Kimberly Hampton?
No.
Isaac?
No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. 6, Mr. Chairman.
Let me see it. So I will vote. So a no would change it, a no would keep it external vendor?
That's correct.
So I'll vote no. So,
This had a question one. I had 7 no's.
So I got Larry, Aaron, Bridget, Kimberly Lee, Kimberly Hampton, and Isaac.
I thought Mike was a no.
Mike was a yes.
Okay.
And where's
Okay.
Isaac?
Okay, so the amendment fails, so it stays in the resolution for an external vendor. So any further discussion on this before we vote on it, guys?
Waldo. Where's Waldo?
Okay, hearing none. Those in support signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Those abstaining? Motion carries. Thank you.
I'll abstain, Austin.
Okay. All right, so we're going to move into the resolutions that were added today. The first one would be authorization to negotiate/accept donation, Indian Point Cemetery, Nama Township.
Resolved that the Board of Directors of the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians authorizes the tribal chairman or his designee to negotiate and accept the donation on behalf of the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians, and be it further resolved, the property described as Indian Point Cemetery will be the responsibility of Sioux Tribe Facilities. All costs associated with accepting the donation will be paid out of Cost Center 1164 for $2,300. Be it finally resolved, upon successful negotiations, the Board of Directors authorizes the tribal chairman or his designee to sign any and all documentation to complete the property donation. I will motion.
All right, so we have a motion by Kim Hampton and support by, it sounds like Rob. Kim or Larry, you guys are both sponsors on this. If you guys want to speak first, you have that opportunity.
Sure. So, Nama Township has Indian Point Cemetery. It is Unit 4. It has many remains of our ancestors. Nama Township is giving us the property just with obviously $2,300 transition fees. It's a way for us to, I guess, in a sense, bring some of our family back home to us. So we are getting land back that actually has remains of our ancestors.
Okay, I appreciate you guys both doing this. Any questions from the Board of Directors? Aaron?
But I want to thank both of you guys because this has been in front of us before. Henry Grondin actually brought it to us the very first time. The supervisor reached out to him probably 10 years ago. I know we were, all in our little battlegrounds and disagreeing on all kinds of stuff, but the board did get behind Wakewiak, and that cost a lot of money. This isn't costing us that money to acquire anything. So I appreciate you guys in the township reaching out to you, Larry, and you guys working as a team to get this done. So thank you.
Okay, Rob?
I also want to say Team Miigwech to Larry and Kim for facilitating this. And also I would like to request, if this passes, that we get a hold of Kathy and Tyler from Culture, because I think it's really important that we get our pipe carriers out there to do official ceremonies that they're going to want to do.
Will do. Anyone else? Okay, without objection, we will approve this via unanimous consent.
Thank you.
Hearing no objection, motion approved. Nicely done, both of you. All right, so the next resolution that was added tonight is titled Approving Purchase of 2 77-seat school buses for JKL.
Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Directors for the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians hereby approves the purchase of 2 77-seat school buses utilizing the JKL CURSA funding from Zaremba Equipment Incorporated for $289,400. Be it further resolved, the Board of Directors hereby deems this an emergency purchase and waives compliance with bid requirements under the purchasing policy due to safety issues that unreliable busing can create for getting kids to school.
Motion.
Okay, motion by
I'll
Isaac
support.
and support by Kim Hampton. And for the membership's information, the reason why this is an emergency situation is because one of the buses was involved in an accident. I don't believe anyone was hurt, but it's placed the bus out of commission, so we need busing for the kids. Any
Hey,
questions or
Austin,
comments from the board?
after that, one of the buses was red tagged, so that means I can't go on the road. And the other one was in a rack, but it only is limited to 20-mile radius.
Right. So I appreciate that, Isaac. Any questions, comments from the board on this? And this was approved at the JKL fiduciary meeting earlier today. Okay, roll call, please.
Isaac.
Yes.
Lana.
Yes.
Kimberly Lee.
Yes.
Sean.
Yes.
Kimberly Gravel.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Bridget.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Larry.
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries, thank you. And the last resolution that was added to tonight's agenda is titled Awarding Contract to McGahee Construction for Covered Walkway at JKL.
Now therefore be resolved that the Board of Directors for the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians awards a contract to McGahee Construction to build covered walkways at JKL for $262,320 utilizing JKL CURSA funds. I'll support.
Motion by Isaac and support by Kim Hampton. Bill, could you explain this resolution for us, please?
Yes, Bill Conley again from Sioux Tribe Accounting. This resolution would authorize the chairman to sign a contract with McGahee Construction to build covered walkways out the west side of the school and cover them, the sidewalks from the school to the two modular units that are out that way that the students have to use on a regular basis, and help decrease the problems they have with the weather and whatnot going from the different buildings.
I appreciate it, Bill. And for the membership's information, McGahee Construction was the lowest bid, and it's a Sioux Tribe company, correct? Not owned by the Sioux Tribe, but a Sioux Tribe member.
Correct.
Okay. Questions, comments from the board? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Michael.
Yes.
Kimberly Lee.
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Kimberly Gravel.
Yes.
Larry.
Yes.
Lana.
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton.
Yes.
Bridget.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Sean.
Yes.
Isaac.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate it,
you.
Bill. So the only item that we have under new business is one of the items that was added today. We're titling it enrollment. Kim? Microphone.
I've been doing so good. I'd like to make a motion to direct the Sioux Tribe Board to direct the CFO to process a $2,000 bonus for each enrollment team member, excluding any team member who received a wage adjustment.
Second.
I just want to give a little
Wait, second.
motion.
Yeah.
Second.
You keep going.
Okay. We've piled a lot of work on their department this year with the open enrollment. That resulted in extra tuition waiver requests, certificates of degree of Indian blood, plus they're doing the elder payment, and we've had more elders added on this year. They had 2 extra workers who both quit, so they were student workers. So they ended up picking up the slack on that. And I lost my notes I had wrote up for them.
I can add some color to it.
Okay.
They've
go
worked their
ahead.
butts off.
Yeah,
plain
they
and
do.
simple. So we've asked a lot from them. So we have open enrollment, so that's obviously placed a lot of extra work on their desks. But when you guys got $1,000 checks, when you guys got $2,000 checks from, the COVID funds that we received, enrollment had their hands in that. They had to verify that everyone was a member, and, it put so much extra work on their shoulders. We also required them to move to a new building this year, which it's a nice new building, but that required some work as well. So hats off to them.
Yep.
So we have Aaron, Bridget, and Kimberly on the list. So Aaron, go ahead.
So thank you, Kim, for bringing this to our attention. And then also, the other piece is, in addition to all that work, they don't complain, and they treat our people with respect when they call over there. They treat them individually. They're not hurting cattle or anything like that. They're going as fast as they can, but they treat our tribal members, our future tribal members, when they apply, with great respect. We have a wonderful team at enrollment. Thanks.
Okay, Bridget?
So I have to say that I appreciate enrollment. I think they've done a great job. I know they've been overworked, but there's a lot of other departments that have been. And I can't bring forward, and maybe I can now, a resolution when I see somebody working hard to give them a bonus. So I appreciate the hard work. I know that they have been, like I said, they're good when I call them on issues. But I just don't think we can pick and choose and give it. And Kim, the question I had, I guess, is you said that aren't going to get increases, and Christine sent us an email, and everyone that it looks like is getting an increase. So are we even going to, are you going to vote on it and people are going to think they're getting it, but according to the email, they're all getting an increase on the comp study anyway?
They're getting the 3% COLA, they're not getting the compression. If that makes sense to you.
I think we need to have Christine clarify.
What do you need clarified?
The difference between COLA and compression.
So,
No.
so what do you
She
asking
said
clarification?
that her motion was anybody that wasn't getting an increase, but what we got sent was everybody was getting an increase, so that's why I want it clarified.
Mine was wage adjustment.
So, Kim, just to provide clarification to the motion that you made, your intent was to provide a bonus to people that didn't receive adjustments. So everyone's getting that 3% COLA, but that's not what you're talking about, right?
Correct.
Okay. Everyone understand that? That's what we're talking about here. So, Christine, you want to add some color to that?
I was just going to add, it would be clearer if you said that anybody that did not get an increase to bring them to the min, because the rest are just like one person's getting brought to the min, and then all the others are getting brought up to their 3%. So,
Right.
and I think you're just with the exception of someone that receives an increase to their min.
I have a quick question.
Did that confuse you more? I'm sorry. Okay.
Well, I'll wait till it's my turn. So you good, Bridget?
Yep.
Kimberly? Okay, Lana?
Yeah, I definitely appreciate what enrollment has done and what they continue to do. I hear very good things about them as well from old members and new members. And I do know that Kim's coming forward in a very good way. I've already explained to her on how I'll be voting. Had a little bit of dialogue with her, and it's nothing against enrollment or in her intention, or Director Gravel's intentions, because I know they're good. My issue would be, what about the other people that haven't got adjustments and they're only getting the 3%? They'll be knocking on our door to get a bonus. So I can't support it. That doesn't mean I don't appreciate what they do or appreciate her advocating for that department. But we had long discussions today about bonuses, and that was off the table. So I don't think that, we do it for one or two or three people, because I know that there'll be other people asking for that. And I wouldn't feel comfortable bringing, a bonus for just a few team members. So that's where I'm at. And I hope that people don't characterize it any other way than I just described it. So thanks, Kim, but I can't support it.
Tyler?
Kim, I can support this, and I'll tell you why. First of all, they bust their butt, and I was one of the ones who co-sponsored open enrollment, and I do not regret that at all. It was well past time. Sioux Tribe citizen is a Sioux Tribe citizen. Just because they got locked out at some point in history doesn't mean anything else. They've done a lot of work towards that. They've kept everybody's tribal cards updated, and we've asked them to do enhanced tribal IDs. Here's another reason why I'm going to support your movement here, Kim. We've also recently passed recruitment and retention bonuses, not just for one, but two different divisions. One, childcare, because we were not meeting the needs of the community, and we had a report on that earlier too. We've upped how many employees? I cannot remember. Steph's not here, but I think we're only 8 under where we need to be now, as opposed to barely scraping by to keep our childcare center open. Worked out.
We gave a bonus to every single employee in the childcare center, and we created an incentive bonuses for new hires in that the department as well.
And we also recently not only passed the housing wage grid, prior to all these other wage grids being passed, we also gave the housing department a bonus as well. So this wouldn't be unique to any other department. The thing that I was against for bonuses earlier is bonuses in lieu of bringing people up to the wage they deserve to be at for the market rate. That's what I was opposed to. This, I think, is a fantastic show of the employees who are doing a great job, and a lot of our employees are doing tremendous work, but we piled it on to enrollment this last year and a half. So we do have to give them kudos for that, and I appreciate you bringing that forward, Kim.
Okay, Kim Hampton.
Okay, so I definitely side with Lana on here. Kim, I totally understand where you're coming from. Enrollment has been bombarded. However, there are other departments that that are going to, after obviously compensation studies have passed, they're only going to get the 3%, not additional bonuses. And I say that because I'm on the West End. So I don't want to sound like ungrateful or like I don't appreciate one department. I definitely do. But how about our elder meal cook in Manistee who cooks everything? Then she has to get in the vehicle and go deliver all those meals. How about our Escanaba YEA coordinator who literally has 8 different schools to go to? A lot of times she's taking her own vehicle because they need a vehicle over there, so it's wear and tear on her vehicle. She's not getting bonuses for that. I mean, our culture person over on the West End, she is totally amazing, working above and beyond. She's not getting a bonus. I mean, it's just, there are so many other departments that are going up. How about facilities? The West End, we have bombarded the facilities department this year. I mean, to the point where the facilities on the West End, I don't think they even know their own name half the time. And if they're only gonna, I don't know if they're only getting 3%, but if they are, then why aren't they getting a bonus too? I mean, it's not just our enrollment department that has been bombarded this year, or any time. So I cannot justify giving a bonus to some in a department because they've only gotten 3% when I'm not gonna be okay with or can't authorize a bonus for other departments that only get a 3%. So I totally understand it, but I cannot support it.
Okay, Aaron?
Okay, so the enrollment department manages the registrations for all of the checks of over 7,000 tribal members, elders. They did a grunt of work during COVID to make sure that we had correct addresses so that we could eventually give those checks out. They have been working like dogs for the last probably 3 or 4 years. And then when the board voted to open enrollment and added all that extra work, and the board did authorize 2 additional staff who couldn't cut it because they quit right away, the enrollment department picked up the slack and they covered it. So they're doing above and beyond their normal duties by the additional workload with this with enrollment and open enrollment. So I see it differently than all those other positions. How we're addressing all those other positions is we just celebrated a few minutes ago with bringing everybody up to market value, and that will set the wage grid so ongoing people will be at market value. So they're not disadvantaged by anything that we do for the enrollment department that has been working and slaving over the last 3 years, again, through COVID, through elder registrations, and then through open enrollment. So I'd like to request a roll call vote.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, roll call, please.
Kimberly Hampton.
No.
Kimberly Gravel.
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Larry.
Yes.
Isaac.
Yes.
Kimberly Lee.
Yes.
Bridget.
No.
Sean.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Lana.
No.
Okay, motion carries. That concludes all the items that we have on tonight's agenda, so without objection, meeting adjourned. Hearing no objection, meeting adjourned. Stay in your seats. We have a gaming authority meeting now, you guys. So.
I thought we would have to wait for it. Look what time it is.
Oh, no. So, I am officially calling the Gaming Authority meeting to order at 6:32 PM. I know it hurts, but let's pull up the Band-Aid and just get it done.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Is that a recycle bin over there? Is it really?
No.
I mean,
When did we start this?
when
Okay.
I was on
Roll
the
call,
board,
please.
remember? Not
Okay.
paper for plastic.
Aaron Paymont.
Yes.
Kimberly Gravel.
I'm here.
Here.
Isaac McKechnie.
Here.
Sean Borowitz.
Here.
Michael McCurchy.
Here.
Rob McGrory.
Here.
Bridget Sorensen. Here. Tyler LaPlante. Larry Barbeau.
Here.
Kimberly Lee.
Here.
Kimberly Hampton.
Here.
Lana Cosley Smith. Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. On today's Gaming Authority meeting, we have the following items. We have approval of minutes from 12/3 of '24. We have FY 2025 Kuwait and Casino budget document. We have FY 2025 Kuwait and Casino capital expenditures. And we have affirming Board of Directors approval of 2024 Kuwait and compensation study and recommendations. Is there a motion to accept the agenda?
Motion.
Motion by Isaac,
Support.
support by Kim Hampton. Any discussion on the minutes? Bridget, do you have your hand up pertaining to, not the minutes, but the agenda?
No, but I have a question.
Okay, let me get the agenda approved and then call on you. So, without objection, we will approve the agenda. Hearing no objection, agenda approved. Bridget, go ahead.
I just wondered if you could explain to the membership why this one is open to the public because they aren't normally, and what has changed, because I know a lot of people are asking.
Yeah, so we had our legal department do a legal review on some things. As everyone knows, they're examining our codes because we might make some constitutional amendments, and one of the things that they identified is there's nothing in code to keep gaming authority meetings closed. So just like regular meetings, if we're going to talk about, financial information, our employees will pull it to closed. But upon hearing that legal review, we're going to do everything open unless the board changes things. So with that said, let's move on to the first item we have, which are minutes from 12/3 of '24. Is there a motion to approve them?
Motion.
Motion by Kim Hampton and support by Isaac. Any discussion on these minutes? Okay, hearing none. Those in support signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? Those abstaining? Motion carries.
I'll
The
abstain.
next item that we have is FY 2025 Kuwait and Casino budget document.
Now therefore be resolved that the Management Board of the Kuwait and Casino Gaming Authority hereby approves the attached FY 2025 budget document for the Kuwait and Casinos.
Okay, is there a motion? Motion by Kim Hampton, is there support? Support by Tyler. Could you gentlemen explain this first, please?
Okay, this is our 2025's budget. I'm going to give you a consolidated overview of all 5 properties. We're budgeting for $86,090,000 in revenues. We budgeted last year at $81,314 in revenues, so we're budgeting an increase in revenues. Our expenses are budgeted at 54. Our direct costs are budgeted at $31,207, $31,207. Last year, we budgeted at $32,720, so we're looking for some savings there. Going down to our operating profit, we're looking at an operating profit of $9.8 million, where we budgeted last year at $4.8 million. Our EBITDA number comes in at 17.6 consolidated versus a $12,057,000. So that's our overall consolidated budget as it relates to 5 properties.
Okay, any questions, comments for Al? Start with Bridget.
So Al, is the position that is over security and surveillance still in this budget?
Yes.
Okay, I just got to say that I think it's kind of shady to be put in this budget because we voted on it as a board and we voted it down no. So then by putting it in this, it'll just pass and then that position's in there. I just don't think that's right. Thanks.
So just to provide clarification, so I think Al presented a budget mod for us a while ago to hire a certain position. It was voted down, and Al's been completely transparent that he's going to try to fill that position again in this budget. So this isn't a sneak attack. I mean, he basically told us that, and we have a lot of systemic issues with security. So I applaud you, Al, for bringing this back, really. So Kim Hampton.
But I guess I'm with Bridget. My question is, I mean, the director of security position was not voted with a yes from the board. So how can that position be in a budget for next year when that position technically doesn't exist because we never approved it?
It's a recommendation for the budget.
It's a recommendation for the budget, but I can't support that because we never even agreed and said yes to create such a position.
So to provide clarification, this would do that. So again, he came back a second time. We all know the issues. So all you'd have to do is amend the budget to exclude that position, period.
So I motion to remove Director of Security from the FY 2025 budget.
Second.
I had my hand up.
Okay. Well, she made a motion to amend, and there's a second, so let's have the discussion at long last. So who's on the list?
I am.
Okay, Lana, Rob.
And this will be just I'm with Kim and Bridget, but is this question is just, I want to know overall all the new positions, if you can highlight those for us in the membership. Is this the only brand new position?
We also have a revenue manager for our hotels because once the hotels are done and renovated, we need somebody to drive those revenues. That position will basically pay for itself because all that person does is drive revenue through the rooms and raise the average rates, whether it be with convention space or conventions that come in or day-to-day travelers that come through our facility. So that is a new position. And then there's a change of a position in HR, which is changing it from HR training coordinator. So adding an HR, basically eliminating the position for HR training coordinator and adding a training specialist. So it's a flip-flop. So it's technically just a change of a position. And then and when you look through it, you'll see there's additionals by specific positions and negations based upon, like F&B, for instance. We're moving forward with F&B to work with a vendor in the future where we won't need positions as we move forward. So through attrition, we're not going to have specific positions moving into the year because there'll be somebody else operating in our space. So there's that as well.
Okay, so to answer that question, those are the only, well, there's two new positions, revenue manager, a security director, and a change of titles for that position. That it, Al?
Yeah, there's also, like I said, a couple positions when you talk about gaming dealer positions eliminated and then adding others. Part of this is part of bringing in part-time over full-time equivalents. This ties into the plan I told you about earlier where we're going to try to work with the tip allocations with our team members to drive more people to work. But those people will probably only want to work part-time during our peak hours. And then there's 2 lead cook positions in St. Ignace for 2080 hours.
Okay, thank you for that. And then the other question I had, we've talked about in the past the systemic vacant positions and the dollar amount that goes to that. Did you guys do a review and take out the vacant positions, like if they've been vacant for 6 months to a year, or just deem that they're not needed? An evaluation on those and take those out of the budget? Or are they still in there just like status quo?
We did eliminate positions. moving
You did
forward.
eliminate.
Yes.
You didn't eliminate any that were filled though, right? So when you pass it-
No.
Okay,
So
good.
I know where you're going with this. We did not
Right.
take any jobs away or affected any people working with us today.
So you guys did the review on the vacant positions that have been there for a length of time and have taken them out of the budget?
Yeah, and there wasn't a whole lot, because when you look at what we're projecting as far as a budget moving forward, we're going to need all hands on deck. So we're going to need personnel in specific positions.
Right, okay. All right, thanks, Al.
All right, so I've had a couple people ask me for this conversation to be closed. So per their suggestions, we're going to be closed. We can't take action on this, so before we vote on this, we're going to come back and open. So I'm going to need you guys to leave. So anyone
I would
else?
like to object.
Yeah, I do too, because there might be some items that should be enclosed. They have the prerogative to do that, but a blanket sort of recommendation to go and close, I don't think is in order.
So if we stay open,
We have
don't
to comply
mention,
with the code.
don't
the
mention
parliamentary
anyone's
meeting
names.
rules. Right.
Don't mention titles. Be a,
Don't mention business theories.
yeah. Okay. All right, Rob, go ahead.
First of all, this right here highlights a need for a separation of powers. As this is a drastic overstep of board authority, in my opinion. We're sitting here arguing with one of our executives about how to manage a casino. How many people sitting on this board has managed a casino? This is a legislative branch. Our job is to revise policy and procedure. Our job is to legislate. Our job is not to manage the casino. And when we start doing so, we're going to create liabilities. This is an example of such. You explained that the need for this position is to limit a liability without saying too much that you're all aware of. So when you get yourself sued, I'm going to remind you of this moment, because you're not giving the casino what they need to limit our liability and make sure that our security management is done properly to protect our assets. That's all I'm going to say right now, and you guys know exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay, go ahead, Aaron.
Okay.
And you can list public information. I mean, there was an assault, so,
Right.
period.
Yeah,
With our
so-
staff at that property.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's not a secret. It's all public information. It's all FOIable. Police reports are FOIable.
Right.
Court documents are FOIable. Not a secret to anyone. So, go ahead.
So I will try to stay above the fray with it, so we don't get that granular. But this proposal is to reduce liability in our security operations across all of our casinos and create consistency. I've heard some of the same board members who've expressed that they will not support this have asked for that consistency. This is how we do it. This is what the management has brought forward. So it would reduce liability. It would establish consistency in our operations across our operations. It would standardize our practice. It would make clear what security is, and more importantly, what they are not. They are not law enforcement. They're not qualified. They don't have those credentials. So if they want to become a police officer, if they want to gain those credentials and that experience, go and get your credentials, go to Malazzi, or it's MCOLS now, it's not Malazzi anymore. Our officers had to do that. And so let's take this serious. They're not law enforcement. We've had issues in the past of physically assaulting customers, and that is in the record. Somebody has a conviction for it. One of our former team members has a conviction for it. And also, an investigation that was botched, and while the U.S. Attorney's Office rejected it, everybody that claims to support MMIP and victims, the Western District Attorney could not prosecute because of the contamination and the way this was investigated, where security personnel pretended to be law enforcement, and that's why it was rejected. That's what the U.S. Attorney's Office told us. Fortunately, our Attorney General in Michigan, Dana Nessel, is picking up this case. And this will be public. This is all going to be public information because we want justice. We don't want somebody to lose their life at our facilities and not do something about it. This is how we do something about it. Okay, so We don't want any more
Objection.
treatment.
I really think that we should be enclosed. I think I don't think that this is, maybe at some point this is going to be public, but I don't think that it is.
I'm following what the chairman said. There's a public record, there's an arrest.
Those are two different things that we're
There's
talking
an
about.
arrest and a conviction. I have the floor, so unless you're going to rule me out of order.
Everyone stop for a second. We don't need to talk about case specifics. We don't need to talk about names. We don't need to talk about positions, okay?
Okay, so we need this so that we can transcend excessive force. Security is not law enforcement. They're not qualified. They should never, ever think that they can do the job of law enforcement. That's for law enforcement to do. So establishing a director across all departments, which we had before, that was Jim Ailing. We had this before. And so this proposal would limit our liability or reduce our liability. It would create standardization across all of our operations, and it's time for us to update this. This is the way you do it. You can't order people to comply. We've tried that for 20 years, and we had these incidents just recently, not a long time ago, just recently, and it's habitual. It's ongoing for 20 years. So this is how we do it, by creating a professional position and a director of security across all departments to make sure that all security across all of our casinos is following how we train them, not how they think that they should be trained by watching videos or former police officers or deputy officers someplace else. So I think it's critically needed to limit liability and to save lives.
Okay, Kim Lee.
Okay, so when you first brought this forward, I did vote no. And I don't necessarily agree with bringing it back in this way. I really wish that it would have been brought back individually, not outside of just adding it to this and hoping that it's overlooked. So I don't agree with that. However, looking at this further and actually going to sit down in the Sixth Circuit Court with with the case that I witnessed down there, I do now believe wholeheartedly that this position is needed because of a situation that was not too far off from what we're dealing with and the liability and risk that comes from that, right? So kind of taking that in and learning from that, I do agree that this position is needed and that we need to make some serious changes. And we've talked about that, right? And I know you guys have been working on it. I'd actually like that added for us to have another update on where we're at with that. We gave that 90-day. So, but I do not agree with just putting it into this. I really wish it would have been brought forward a little differently to have that full conversation. So that I do disagree with. However, like I said, after listening to the liability and risks that come at the Sixth Circuit level, I agree that we do need this position and we need to make some serious changes and get that moving. So that's all.
Sean.
I guess I do agree that we probably do need a director of security. Most big corporations do have that. But to blame the incidences that happened in the past on our security department is totally wrong. And I just want to go on record to state that, because I think when Ms. Nessel furthers her investigation and it's done, I think our tribal police department is going to be involved as well. So I don't like blaming just our security department. I don't believe they acted as police officers. I think they did the reports. They sent them to where they were supposed to send them to. Maybe if our tribal police department would have showed up at that evening, it wouldn't have went this far. So further on down the road, I will be recommending a thorough investigation of this whole incident. I just want that to be on record.
Okay, Kim Hampton.
So after hearing Kipley talk, I would like to strike out my motion, but I do think it was done in a way that it shouldn't have been done. it shouldn't have just been added in and that was that. But also, if we get a director of security, I would hope that the issues that we have had will be negated because we apparently have the solution now. Even though I do still think we don't, I mean, yes, it's going to be a good thing that we have one. Do I think that we absolutely 1,000% need one? I think the departments could have been training and holding their people accountable. But, I mean, it is what it is. So, yeah, I'm good removing my motion.
So are there any objections to removing the motion to amend?
I still object.
Okay, so we have that motion to amend on the floor then. So, who is the question?
Calls the question.
Oh, I just wanted to say one thing, if you don't mind, Aaron. So I'm supportive of this as well. You know, we have 5 different properties that are managed by general managers, and there should be consistency regarding the security services that are provided at each of these properties. And it really is a service. It's a service to protect the property, protect the employees, and protect the patrons. And we have that consistency and that oversight. I think that can provide a superior service. And I agree with Rob. I think this is micromanaging. You know, we have hundreds of employees at the casino, and this has been political. It really has, and it's unnecessary. So we'll do a roll call on the amendment. So a yes would be to remove the position from the budget, and a no would be to keep it in the budget.
Michael?
Yes.
Kimberly Lee?
No.
Aaron?
No.
Larry?
No.
Rob?
No.
Lana?
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton?
No.
Bridget?
Yes.
Tyler?
No.
Sean?
Yes.
Kimberly Gravel?
Yes.
Isaac?
No.
Okay, so the motion to remove this position from the budget fails, so it stays in there. Okay. Any additional questions, comments on the budget?
Len, I think, has her hand up.
Yeah, my
Lena.
hand was up, Isaac, or Austin.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and I guess it really doesn't matter now that the vote passed and it stays in the budget, but I was going to ask what the upper management positions are that we have in surveillance and security right now. And, you know, I would just say again, with our capabilities and the knowledge that we have in there, you think that, you know, after these last couple of things that we've had to discuss and deal with, there would be some changes made with the people that we have in there, but could be wrong. So hopefully, I think Director Hampton said it, once we do have this position, hopefully we see some benefit to it, in that things are taken care of and there's some formality to how we do things in each of the casinos. So that's that. And do we have a surveillance, because you know, without saying names, I'm not even clear on who's who. Do we have a manager of surveillance now
We
for
have,
all the 5 casinos?
we have managers in surveillance.
How many managers do we have?
5? Well, no, 4. Hessel's watched by another property.
That's right.
Yeah. How many, so we have in surveillance, how many do we have in security?
We have 5.
So 4 surveillance
No,
managers,
sorry,
5
4.
security
It's 4.
managers.
I was thinking of a name,
Okay.
but 4.
And point of
4
information.
surveillance managers, 4 security managers.
But surveillance does not work the floor at all.
Right.
Right, I know that, yeah. Well, I'm thinking that, you know. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Isaac?
I'm just going to call for a question.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think we need to call for a question. You're the last person on the list, so roll call.
Okay.
Roll call on the budget.
Isaac?
Yes.
Lana?
No.
Kimberly Lee?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Michael? Kimberly Hampton?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Bridget?
No.
Kimberly Gravel?
No.
Larry?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, motion carries. Appreciate it. The next item is FY 2025 Kuwait and Casino, FY 2025 Kuwait and Casino capital expenditures.
Hold on a minute here.
And then, after I get a motion and second, we're going to move into close because this is purely financial. And we won't take action until we're opened again.
Now therefore be resolved that the Management Board of the Queen Casino Gaming Authority hereby approves the FY 2025 Kuwait and Casinos capital expenditures budget in the amount of $6,572,403.52.
Motion. Okay, motion by Tyler and support by Isaac. So we're going to have this next session closed because we might be talking about some proprietary information. So you guys gotta evacuate the room.
I just
Okay, so we're back and open, so when anything proprietary is being discussed at the Gaming Authority meeting, we have to go and close per the bylaws, but we have to take action in open session, so that's what we're doing. So the resolution that we're still on is FY 2025 Kuwait and Casino capital expenditures. We've had a conversation about financial matters, and looks like we're ready to vote, so roll call, please.
Oops. Kimberly Gravel.
Yes.
Lana.
Yes.
Isaac.
Yes.
Sean.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Bridget.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Larry.
Yes.
Kimberly Lee.
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton.
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you. And the last resolution is affirming Board of Directors' approval of 2024 Kuwaitan compensation study and recommendations.
Be it resolved that the Management Board of the Kuwait and Casinos Gaming Authority hereby affirms and adopts classification and compensation study and all other terms approved by the Board of Directors. Be it further resolved that the terms of this resolution hereby control, supersede, and rescind any past resolution or policy that is contrary to or conflicts with the action of the Management Board set forth in this resolution.
Motion by Mike and support by Tyler. Gentlemen? Quite simply, it's just to implement the compensation study on the casino side, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, questions, comments from the board? All right, hearing none, we'll roll call this. And we already approved this at the big board level, but we're just reaffirming it on this level.
Sean.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Bridget.
Yes.
Isaac.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Kimberly Gravel.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Kimberly Lee.
Yes.
Larry.
Yes.
Lana.
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. So that concludes all the items that we have for today. So without objection, Gaming Authority meeting adjourned. Hearing no objection, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone, and Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Don't go anywhere yet because I think James has something for all you.
Ho, ho, ho.
Christmas.
The recording has stopped.
Before you run away from the table.
Hey, for real, thanks, everybody.